Library Research, prepared for and presented at the 2019 Square One Entrepreneurship Training Program. Square One is a program of the Center for Emerging Technologies. CET is an affiliate of the Cortex Innovation Community. Square One is funded in part by the Missouri Technology Corporation.
Who here uses the public library for their business? Hey, 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 hey. Okay, I hope that's all going to change tonight, and I hope we're going to see 100%. Because you may not think of the library as being a valuable partner for you when you're in your entrepreneur mode, but it really is. And that's basically the bulk of what I do, is I do a lot of work helping people start and grow their businesses. Excuse me. In fact, I was just this past June, I was in Washington, D.C. at the American Libraries Association conference talking about this very thing. There's a lot of interest in it. Public libraries are the original co-working space. So let me get started here. We're going to talk specifically about some resources that you can use for your target market competitor research. Here we go. So the public library is a good resource for you at any stage of business, at your idea, your planning, your growing stage. Even if you're looking for a physical site, we have demographics that can show you traffic counts at various intersections all over the country. So that's also useful to know. We are actually currently working with an organization called the Urban Libraries Council. We're one of 12 libraries across North America that are working together to create benchmarks and useful tools and toolkits for public libraries that are wanting to reach out and work more with the entrepreneurs in their community. Because public libraries are a really very foundational community organization in any place, for literacy obviously, but also just access to information. And as a business person, being informed when you're making decisions is one of the most powerful tools you can have. These are in the folder, the PowerPoint's in the folder, but this is just a quick overview of how the library can help you at each stage. And yes, the help is great, but let's talk about how much money that can save you. So, this is my brainchild at the library. We made a business value calculator to show people who are in business how much money they can save each year by using the library. And if you use our materials to save money on newspaper, magazine subscriptions, does anybody here use lynda.com or LinkedIn Learning? Okay, you can stop paying monthly fees because you can get that free through the library. We also have various databases you could try to buy on your own, but if you let us shoulder that cost, that's more money you don't have to spend. And also, we have great industry reports. You can create your own marketing lists. And all of these, we've talked to people who've spent $10,000 on a marketing list that they never see. So that's where some of the huge savings come in. Cool. Okay, so this is also in the folder that has your handout. This is obviously a no-no when it comes to PowerPoints. This is way too many words. This is for you to take and have on your own from here on out, showing you what are you looking for, what database should you use, and what will you get out of it. Cool. All right. So now I'm just going to switch into demo mode. Can I just get a quick, what kind of companies are people starting? Anybody doing food? Okay. Anybody doing home health care? No. Anybody doing a product that you've invented? Cool. Are we doing any service-based stuff? Cool. Okay. Who's here going to be marketing to other businesses for like B2B? Okay, and who's doing individuals? Okay, so it looks like we're bulk individuals. Okay, good to know. All right, thank you for setting up this lovely PowerPoint, but I'm now going to switch over into live internet mode. Is that all right? I hope so. Cool. Because looking at pictures of databases is not super exciting, but we're going to show you here what they can do. So I did bring the materials with me to make you cards, so if you don't have a card and you'd like one, let's hang out at the end. We'll get you hooked up. Who's excited about starting their own business? Yeah! No more answering to the man. So I'm just going to do a quick bit because it was asked of me, but we're going to cover some main things today. We're going to cover how to find demographics about your competitors and about where your market is, how much money is being spent on your product or service right now. We're also going to look at a resource called First Research, where you can look up industry reports of what's going on in your industry from a bird's eye view. And then we're also going to look at various resources we have called Reference USA and Merchant Intellect that you can use to make lists of potential customers, either businesses or individuals. Okay, here we are at the library website. Everything, all the good stuff that you want is here under research, so that's where we're going to click. Now, the beauty of our databases is that with the library card, you can use them any time of day, any place, as long as you have an internet connection, which, if you're starting your own business, you have loads of free time to do all this research. Most of the people that we speak to are like, yeah, I'll be doing this between 11 p.m. and about 3 a.m. So thankfully, these are available 24/7. All right. A couple of cool things on this page here. This green button chat, sometimes it's actually down here. But that, if you chat and click there, you're going to talk to one of my librarians live, a real researcher who works at the library and is just sitting there waiting to answer questions while doing a bunch of other work. We also have this really awesome service called Book a Librarian, which is also 100% free. You know. If you've seen us around town, we talk about Book a Librarian a lot because it's a free service. You do one-on-one with us, and we sort of walk you through our databases in a customized way that fits exactly what you're looking to do. Anyway, you would just click here and make an appointment online. But for now, we're going to look at this guy. He's already started his business and sold it, so he's really happy. Okay, so if you click on Business Owner and Investor, this is where we have all of our awesome business databases. All right. The first one we're going to look at is this one called Demographics Now. It's a huge powerhouse. There's insane amounts of information in here. We one time met with people who were making frozen protein waffles, and we were able to find in Demographics Now information about how much money people in the St. Louis area are spending on frozen breakfast foods. Let's see, there was also somebody who made custom kick plates for doors, that little metal rectangle at the bottom. And we were able to find a list of people who had gotten new doors put in their homes in the past 12 months. And we could filter that list by income or home value. So there's his target. Okay, this is where needing a library card comes in. If you don't want to stay after, feel free to steal my number.
Like a lot of the stuff that corporations will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for, the corporations will give to the library at a significantly reduced rate because they want to drive trial and they want people to see what they're capable of. So
Absolutely.
what we need in the library is access to something. It's not just looking it up on Google and done. It's access to databases that otherwise would be not just closed, but really, really expensive.
Definitely. Let the tax base of the county support that instead of you individually. Or if you are a county resident, as I like to say, we owe you, or this has all been prepaid for you. So take advantage of it. Okie dokie. Who feels that demographics are going to be useful to you in making your business decisions? Yes, all right. So everybody's into information here, which is awesome. Okay. So while Demographics Now loads, there's two basic steps to using it. The first step is setting your geography, which is the area you want to look at. The second step is choosing what it is you want to look at, and that's where it can get a little bit more complicated, and why I strongly recommend doing the Book a Librarian, because we've been through this database many, many times, and we can pick stuff out faster for you. All right, so setting the geography is, I'm going to click this magnifying glass, and then right now you can see it's set to entire US. What zip code are we in right now? Is it 63110? Let's use that. It's close enough. It's close enough. All right, here we go. Demographics now. All right. Well, quick question. Of the people who said that they were interested in creating a food business, what kind of foods do we have here? I heard veggies? Fruits and veggies. I also heard popsicles. Those got combined in my mind. That was really weird. That was cool. Veggie popsicles. All right, sorry. Okay, what other kinds of foods? Cookies? Veggie turkey? Jerky. Oh, veggie jerky. Wow. I'm really having some hearing issues today. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Also, if you don't feel like getting your own card today, feel free to use my number. So what Demographics Now can provide for you is a bunch of preset, pre-made reports that just give you a lot of basic demographic info about the area that you want to be in. For example, income, age, race, educational level of attainment, housing type, renter or owner. All right, so I'm going to click here on this magnifying glass, and I'm going to click into options, and hopefully it's going to let me do it this time. Here we go. So I clicked on geography list, and one thing you'll learn about Demographics Now is that it has a lot of these trees that you have to kind of drill down into. But let's go here, zip codes. All right. So you can see we did zip codes. Now we're in Missouri. So we're going to have to find our county, which I'm going to go ahead and say St. Louis. Geography kind of throws databases for a loop. So St. Louis City is actually listed as a county here. There you go. And 63110 is one of the zip codes in the city. So here we go. So you can see at the top it changed from entire US to 63110. And now we're going to do some fun stuff. So we'll click on demographics. And you can see here I'm in this like basic section, and they have a bunch of preset reports where you can really quickly find some really solid info just about the area you're looking at. So you could do this for the county, you could do it for the city, you could do it for particular zip codes. You could also do it for metro areas, and you can do this all over the US. So one really great place to start is just complete demographic summary report. And when you click on run report, it's going to make it for you right now. And what it's going to show you is the basic demographics of the area. So here we go. All right, we got population. We have the population in the past, now, and also a prediction, which can be useful when you're starting to run reports for market demand, for example. You'll be able to see what it is now and what the estimates are for 5 years from now, which can be great for your planning. And this also is really useful. If you are, who has in mind already who your target market is? Solid. Awesome. Awesome. So the tools that we're looking at today are things you can use to find out where is your target market. Like if you are trying to reach retirees who are very traditional and maybe not into technology, Shaw might not be the best place for you, but if you're looking for hipsters who are into vegan cupcakes, etc., Shaw might be a great place for you, except that Sweetheart's already there. All right. So you can see we've got population, race breakdowns, age breakdowns, house income, type of employment, housing units. So with a couple of clicks, we got this massive report, and if you can click on download there, you can download it, you can email it to yourself, whatever. So that's one of the preset reports. Super useful, because it can be time-consuming to find demographics in lots of places, and while they are available through places like the census website, those can be harder to navigate than this guy. But what's really awesome is when we click over to advanced. Let's see. Let's see what we can find about frozen treats. Okay, so we are looking in the 63110 zip code, and we're going to see if we can find how much money is being spent on frozen treats. So I clicked on a topic here called Simmons Product Profiles. And this is again why I strongly suggest getting with a librarian on this, because otherwise you're going to spend a lot of time digging around in all these menus. I might today. Okay. All right, so let's see, food, frozen, that's promising. And so adult, we're going to be looking at how much an adult spends. HH is a household, so we'd be looking at how much a household spends. So you can just choose whatever fits your needs. Let's look at adult. Okay. A limited number of frozen options. But for example, I don't see frozen treats. The closest thing is frozen yogurt. Let's see how much is being spent on frozen yogurt. Purchased frozen. I feel like frozen yogurt is something you don't buy at the grocery store. All right, let's see. Okay. So 3,363 households in the 63110 zip code are buying frozen yogurt. So you could run this report in multiple zip codes, and you could see which zip code has the highest number of households buying your product, for example. That might help. Who here is planning on doing any social media marketing? Awesome, awesome. So one, we have classes on social media marketing through lynda.com, through the library, but we also, when you are making your social media marketing decisions, a lot of it is zip code based. You tell the social media platform what zip code you want to be targeting. And using this information can help you know where your target market is and which zip code you want to target. Okay, who here has ever heard of consumer profiles? Cool, okay, a couple hands. Okay, so there are very, very large organizations and institutions, for example, Experian. They collect a lot of information about us all as consumers, and they create profiles that describe each type of consumer. You might be able to find out what consumer type is in your target market. And this can really help learn more about your target market. Not just where they are, but kind of what they're like. So I clicked on this. We call this a hamburger menu. Has anybody heard that? This 3 lines? All right, has anybody heard of the meatball menu, the 3 dots? All very food-based. So I'm going to click on our hamburger menu here. And I'm going to click on health. And what this brings us to is a list of how demographics now collects this data. If you need to go to sleep, go ahead and read that. But it also gives you really cool details about the different Mosaic profiles. So the Mosaic profiles are made based on income level and various other consumer factors. But the higher up you are, so like group A are the most wealthy, and then as we go down, it gets less wealthy. But let's, for example, let's take this. So group C, boomers who are booming with confidence. Let's look at the aging of Aquarius. Who names these? I feel like it's the same people that do nail polish names. But anyway, fun job. What's really cool is you're going to get a very detailed write-up. There's stock photography. I like to congratulate the actors who got this job for stock photography. And then also, there is a narrative describing this person. Oh no, let's try another one. Boomers and boomerangs. That to me sounds like kids are coming to live back home. Oh, it's not loading. Is it loading? Yes, okay, cool. So here's our photos of our boomer and boomerang. They give them common names for their generation. John and Cynthia. They live in a single family home, the head of households in the 50s, 60s. This is their income range. So this is all data that's been gathered by Experian and put into these profiles. These can be useful when you're doing your marketing because it's telling you what channels this group prefers. But what I think is really fun and can be very useful, so we've got demographics on the group right here, which can help you visualize your target market also. But here is a really delightful narrative about John and Cynthia. Their children are teenagers and young adults in their 20s. They live in relatively new subdivisions. Oh, they have varied interests like gardening, tailgating, and fishing. Who's selling fishing equipment here? Let's see. They tend to be price-sensitive shoppers who buy economy cars and off-the-rack clothes from discount retail stores, despite being in upscale incomes. So if this is your target market, you know they have the money to spend, but they like to be frugal and they like to make good decisions about how they're spending money. That might influence how you decide to price or market your product or service. All right, so that's a real quick breeze through of what demographics now can do. It can give you reports on basic demographics. It can give you highly detailed information on a very specific product or service. And it can also give you some access to these consumer profiles that kind of draw a fuller picture of your target market. Okay, stop me if anybody has questions. Also, I know databases can be kind of, so who here likes databases and has used them before? Okay, cool. All right, great. Okay. Stop me if you have questions, please. Okay, next, locating customers. It seemed like we have more people who are going to be B2C, so business to consumer versus B2B. So I'm going to show you how you can make a list of people. We also, prepare yourself. We also call this the creepy database because people are like, wow, there's a lot of information about us all and it's out there for us all to access. All right, prepare yourselves. So we're going to research. Oops, it's moved, that's fascinating. We'll go to research, or will we? Okay. It's interesting that my page of the website is gone. I hope I still have a job tomorrow. Maybe they're sending me a message. All right, let's see. Research. Here we go. Nope. New search feature. Okay. So another good place to go is back. And we'll go to A to Z. This should be our alphabetical list. All right, solid. Okay, under R, we have a database called Reference USA. Has anybody ever heard of Reference USA? Cool. Yep. Okay. So Reference USA is basically an online directory, which makes it sound really boring, but it actually is much, much more. Because while it is an online directory, it's a searchable directory, and actually the most powerful part of it is that you can build your own lists. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Okay, here's Reference USA. There's 8 different sections of it. This is what our realtors love because you can look people up by how long they've been in their lease. So realtors will send postcards to people who are about 9 months into their lease and say, looking for a new home. This is where you're going to go to find the creepy information about us all. And then this is where you would go, U.S. businesses, if you're going to make lists of businesses that you want to work with or sell to, or who are your competitors, for example. Let's do a quick search of people, because let's just get right into the creepiness. The number of times you've heard people say, ooh, I'm going to stay up late tonight looking at people I know. All right, so you can look up somebody you know just by typing their name in here. I'm going to do my mom, which I told her I do, and she's like, okay. All right, she's in Oklahoma. So I put in first name, last name. If you're looking for somebody, you can use this. We get calls at the library all the time where people are looking for somebody, and this is how we look up the phone number. But she's on the list, and I'm going to click her name. And what's interesting is then you start seeing more detailed information about people. So, got marital status. I can confirm that that's true, but I will say if you're using this for dating research purposes, that's not always true. So don't always rely on what it says for marital status. We have estimates on income and home value, but this is where it becomes useful for you for marketing purposes. Based on the mail she's getting, the rewards cards that she's signed up for, other things that she's signed up for and glossed over small print, that data is being sold to Reference USA and other places. And now you have access to it through the library. Look yourself up later. But you can see she's getting catalogs, children and family products, senior-oriented products. Yep, Dad just retired. This is all accurate. Yes, they do use the internet. Fun fact, my mom went to a charity dinner and was seated with some sort of like C/D level Food Network celebrity. And based on what was available on the Food Network bio and what was in here, I was able to find the person that she was sitting with, and I gave her some small talk tips. I was like, she loves her dogs and gardening, so those should be pretty safe topics. Anyway, so that's looking up an individual. Already kind of creepy on its own. Yes?
Is this a free database we can access from home?
Free to you, not to the library, but yes, free to you, or if you're a county resident, prepaid. Yeah. Absolutely. Everything I'll show you today are things you can get to 24/7 from any internet-enabled device. Yes?
Pardon me if I'm jumping ahead, but can you search on those?
Let's do it. We're going to do that right now. Yes. You saw where he's a plant. It was a long-range plan that we've got going there. Okay. So when I looked up my mom, I just did this under quick search. But if you go to advanced search, this is where the real juicy stuff is. This is where you build your list. All right. So let's see. I'm going to guess that some of you are at least targeting metro area, St. Louis metro area. Okay, let's go with, so under geography, I clicked on metro area. Anything you click on the left is going to pop up a box in the middle that you make your choices in. So I've got the metro area box there. Then I'm going to click on Missouri. Then I get my list. You never know if we're going to be S-A-I-N-T or S-T or S-T period, but here we are, S-T period. And then if I've added something, you can see I added it and now it's in this box. After I add anything, I like to go to update count to see how many results I'm going to get. All right, so we took it down from 314 million to about 2.9 million. All right, next step. This can be really useful if you already know kind of the price range for your product or service. So let's look at home income. All right, let's say Jerry is going to sell an extraordinarily expensive product. So let's say we're going to look at everything over 200,000. This means the household income's over 200,000. All right, that took us from 2.9 million in the St. Louis metro area down to 200,000 individuals. All right, and this is where the good stuff is. Lifestyles. Now we got this box. Okay, so again, like I said, there's a tree that you have to drill down in. So I hope you like clicking. But, Jerry, what kind of product or service are you selling?
Self-defense device.
Yes, okay. All right. There's not a direct correlation here, but I feel like describe your target market for me.
Target market would be active,
Okay,
females,
all right.
travelers.
Ooh, look at all the different travel. Let's just go all travel. Who knows when you might need self-defense when you're traveling? Do you want to add any outdoor recreation there? Well, let's see what we've got with this. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so 50,000 people. We'll take it. All right, let's click on View Results. Okay, you now have names, addresses, phone numbers. FYI, they may be on the do not call list, so proceed at your own risk. But for individuals, you want to be careful about calling these. And just, these are all landlines. This database does not have cell phones. But this is perfect for doing mail marketing, or like I said, using this information to find out which zip codes have the most of your potential target market and using that for social media marketing. Okay, so yeah, yes. How frequent is, how? Very good question. So my staff, hold on just a second. My staff just got back from visiting their plant outside of Omaha, Nebraska, and they are calling constantly. They're updating constantly. So every day, let's see. It used to be that they would release an update to the data once a year, and now it's every week or 2 weeks. So, yes.
Is this based on voter registration or driver's license or what?
A variety of things. It's funny, when they started out, they would rip phone pages out of the phone book and scan and enter those in, and that's where they started. But now they have data indicators that set off a process. So when someone registers for a new landline, when they sign a lease, when they move and buy a home, all that kind of stuff gets funneled into this information. It's awesome. Sorry, yes.
So I guess this can be downloaded as
Yes,
as an Excel sheet. You can try to do filters to count and whatnot.
absolutely. So thankfully, people in here love data. So honestly, my favorite people are the people who programmed Excel, because Excel and Google Sheets are my life. But if you are skilled and you can manipulate data in Excel, for example, you can download this by clicking download. Oh my gosh. Okay, first what you have to do is click and choose which items you want. So boom, I just clicked everything on this page, next page, select, etc. You just keep doing that. Then you click on download. I know there's 2,000 pages, so that's going to be a lot of clicking. You could pay an intern to do that. Or have an intern volunteer and gain work experience doing that. But what's really great is you can actually choose what data you want. So if you choose detailed, you are going to get literally every single piece of data. That might be overkill, but if you want to start with it all, might as well. If you do custom, you're going to see the data field options, and you can import or export whatever ones that you want. Yes?
Is there a switch you can turn off those 4 lights or only those 4 lights? Anybody know?
I'm sure there is. I'll just start pawing all this stuff. That makes sense. They're labeled. Okay.
It's not crucial. Keep
Okay,
going and
all right.
figure it out.
Well, you could choose the options that you want here. For example, we want to get, I'm really into whether they're going to buy beauty and cosmetics, so I can put that there. And it's going to score people from 0 to 9 based on their activity as a consumer. And it's only going to list it in what I was looking at my mom's with the catalog shopper and all that. It only lists that she has a score of 6 or above. So if you had a fleeting interest in canoes are not necessarily going to show up on your profile unless you've made some solid canoe purchases and you're following up with your canoe magazine or all things like that. So yes, you can download, you can email this to yourself or to your business partner, for example. Another really cool feature is clicking heat map. Might take a second, but this is going to show your results on a map. So it's another quick way to see where is your target market. So you filled out these cool things. Oh, I've got people of a certain income, certain interests. This will show you on a heat map where they are. And if you zoom in, it will get more and more granular. We honestly thought about doing a cool like blind date program at the library. We could use this stuff to research, but we couldn't figure out how to market only to blind date safety concerned people and not also to stalkers. So we were like, let's not put everybody in the same room. Maybe not the best plan. So we never followed through on that. But you can see, I'm seeing some of the darkest areas right around here in the Clayton area for where these potential customers for the self-defense mechanism or device are. Cool. All right, Reference USA. Again, that was the tip of the iceberg. Let's look at businesses real quick because there are some people that are doing B2B work, or you're all probably going to want to look at your competitors. So, US business, it looks just the same. You really need to look over here sometimes to make sure you're in the right section. But this is the business database. Does anybody know of a competitor of theirs by name? Yes? Okay. Okay. Let's see what we get. All right. So you can see we've got a lot of business results for LinkedIn. When you see this corporate tree, that means they're part of a tree. That's pretty self-explanatory. If you click on this top arrow, it's going to take you to the parent organization. So I'm feeling pretty solid about all these LinkedIn entries that are part of a tree. I'm going to click on the up arrow, and there we go. It took me to LinkedIn's parent organization. And if you click on that, we're going to get some more info. All right. So, fun fact, if a business posts on Indeed, any Indeed job postings that they have are pulled from Indeed into this database. We sometimes use this for people who are job seeking. But here we go. Does everybody know about SIC and NAICS codes? SIC and NAICS codes. So SIC code and NAICS codes are codes that were, yes, they're industry codes to classify different type of business that each company is doing. Fun fact, what kind of stuff do you think Ted Drewes is doing? How would you classify Ted Drewes? Yes, custard, frozen ice cream. Well, their primary SIC code is Christmas tree sales. Yep. So you can see companies will have multiple codes, usually describing different things that they do. A larger company like them will have this business profile here, just describing some of their work. And then we have some business demographics, sales volume, number of employees. Square footage can be useful when we're working with commercial cleaning companies. They're interested in the square footage. Makes sense. And you'll get a directory of management. You can ignore this executive ethnicity column. I've asked Reference USA about it time and time again. It's based on an algorithm that's purely based on their name. So, not relevant. You can just ignore that part. But this can be useful if you're going to call on a company. You have a name. You're not just saying, hi, could I speak to your director of marketing? You might have a name. We're going to look at another database called Mergent Intellect that has some good information about people inside the company, so internal employees. Okay, so Reference USA, you can look up individual people, individual companies. You can make a list of people based on what you're looking for in your target market, and we can also make lists of companies. It can be really useful to know the SIC or NAIC industry code for your business, because that will help you look up competitors. Because you can actually look up competitors. Let's say that we are wanting to find other social media companies. 2741. Somebody help me remember 2741. Okay. So, if we were looking for other companies somewhat similar to LinkedIn, because they are a competitor, I'm going to click on New Search. I'm going to click on Advanced. And again, we're going to see those cool options on the side like we did for when we were making lists of individual consumers. Okay, cool. So right here under business type, we've got keyword, stick and makes. Let's see, was it 2741? Was that it? I think that's close enough. Let's see what happens. All right. Internet artists. Okay. I should have gotten those last couple digits, guys. Huh? Oh, good. Thank you, front row. You got it? Boom. There we go. All right. All right. So, and I've left this at looking at just the whole U.S., but we've got a list of 535 companies also doing social media. And if you click on any one of those, you're going to find out that same information, estimated employee size, sales, square footage, etc. It can be useful also seeing estimates of their expenditures, because if you're selling something to the company and you want to see what they're spending on certain things, well, this is not a great example, but it can be helpful to know sort of a range of what they're spending. Okay, and just like the other list of individuals, you can download this, you can print it, you could see it on a heat map. And of course, businesses are not on do not call lists, so these are free and open for you to call. Okay, who has questions about either Demographics Now or Reference USA? Yes?
When you click download, I'm assuming it's not just the info we see, it's also the stuff that was in the other.
Yes, very much so. So we'll click on download. And then if you choose custom, you're going to get those options of which data fields you want to include. You could pick any or all, definitely. Yes? So you could do the thing that we did in advanced search and search for types that are in food manufacturing. Is that what you said, food manufacturing? Sorry. Food processing. You could type in food processing and get a list of similar companies. And then if you were looking for ones in St. Louis, you could limit that search to the St. Louis area or even specific zip codes that you preferred that would be convenient for you. And that would be how I would do that. Yeah. Anybody else have questions? Is anybody else going to be on Reference USA anytime in the next week now exploring the creepiness? Yeah, it's fun. We tried to look up Nellie, but we weren't able to find it. Okay, so Reference USA is a huge source of potential savings for you as business owners. Just quick note, if you're not in the library, you would click on this home access one. That's what I did here. The only difference is when I was clicking at the top to choose a whole page of results and then download them, I think outside of the library, so for home access, I think you can only choose maybe 250 results at a time. In the library, I think you can do up to 500, but there's no limit to the number of lists that you make. So if your list was 1,000 people, in the library you would make 2 lists of 500. Outside of the library, you'd make 4 lists of 250. You'd have the same information. Yes?
But that was going to be my question. You really need to be logged in, right, to your account to be able to access a lot of
Yes, which is your library card number, which I brought materials with me today. You could be walking out of here with a library card. Okay. All right. What's next? Who here has questions about how to find information about your industry overall? Anybody curious about that? Sweet. All right, we're going to look at that. Ready? I've only got a couple more minutes, I think, though, so let's... I'm okay? All right. You can just do that big hook and just pull me off here anytime. And I'll probably keep talking. It's really embarrassing. I talk about this in the grocery store line. If I hear people talking near me about business stuff, did you know you could do that at the library? Okay, so I just clicked on something called First Research. And if you've ever played Nintendo, it wants you to keep clicking to say yes. Yes, I would like to go into this database. Yes, submit. I would like to be into this. It's like it's telling you, submit. You're okay. All right. So you can look over here to see what's been updated recently, what industry reports have been updated recently. You can also click here. Is anybody wanting to start a brick and mortar restaurant? Just shout out some industries that you're in so I have some choices here. What? Oh man, I wish there was one of those in there, but it's not. That's too much of an emerging industry right now for us. Roadside assistance? Whoa, let's check it out. Wow, I typed it. Usually I can't type when people are looking. Okay, how about this? Motor vehicle towing services. That doesn't cover all sorts of roadside assistance, but it's got a big one. Okay, so these are my results. I clicked on that first one. I see it spinning. All right, so this tells you when it was last updated. So it looks like it's due for its next quarterly update. But right here, you'll see at the top an industry growth rating. It just does high, medium, or low. Not low is good. And then on the side here, you have all the different portions of the report. What can be very useful are the critical issues, the business challenges, and then business trends and industry opportunities. Those 4 categories are essentially a SWOT analysis, so strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for the industry. And if you're going into this industry, those are good things for you to know and just keep in your mind. Because as you're writing your plan, I heard something about the Canvas plan. As you're writing your plan, being aware of challenges and trends and opportunities can help you face those challenges and come up with ways to proactively address them or to differentiate your business. Okay, let's look. And actually what I'm going to do here is click on full profile, and that expands all the sections. All right, we've got news relating to the industry. We've got a forecast, a very slight decrease. You might want to explore maybe what's leading to that and what you could differentiate so that you're actually increasing instead of decreasing. Critical issues, increased calls for regulation. Volatile fuel prices. Yeah, I can imagine that that's an issue. Business challenges, mitigating liability. Okay, that's a good one. Hiring and retaining qualified workers. We see that in a lot of industries, especially when we're helping people with home health care businesses. Okay, trends. Oops. One of the trends here is a growing use of navigation systems and digital dispatching. All right. Okay, that's something to explore. All right. So we also use this with people who are going into interviews because we have this call prep section where it's conversation starters as well as the answer. So if you're about to talk with a business and you're maybe not really very well versed in what they do in that industry and you want to come off as a little bit more informed, you can read through one of these industry reports. For example, if you're going to start talking with a company that maybe will supply you. It's a good way to prepare. There's a lot of financials, which honestly I usually skip over because I'm not a financial person. I'm an information person. That's why I'm becoming a librarian. Okay. These can also be useful industry websites and glossary of acronyms. Just get you in the lingo. Okay, and that's a real quick look at First Research. So there's many different reports for different industries, so you could just do some tooling around in there and search and find industries that are relevant to yours. Did I see a hand? Yes.
Is healthcare included in this too?
Yeah. Let's look.
Like patient data?
Oh, no. I will tell you, we did get a fun call because in addition to doing classes like this, we also answer the phone and answer questions that come in over the phone. Yeah, you have no idea what's going on when you get those. Had a lady call and ask if there was a warrant out for her arrest. He said, oh, thanks for having faith in the library as an information provider, but we actually don't have that kind of information. Here's the number for your local police department. You can go ahead and call them and ask them if they have a warrant out for your arrest, which she did and told us that they said no. So, great, worked out really well. I had somebody call, I'm sorry, this is a total aside, I also had somebody call and ask me what they learned in 5th grade math. That does not exist in any database. So I had to do this real gentle walkthrough. I believe that information lives in your own mind. Can I help you pull it out a little bit? Imagine yourself at 10. What was going on? Good times. Good times. Alrighty, and then the last spot we're going to look is actually something called Emergent Intellect, which is very similar to Reference USA. It's also an online directory.
I think you had a question up there.
Yes, oh, question.
Oh, yeah, just back to healthcare, about the patient data. Do you know of any databases that don't include patient identifiers that would still be HIPAA compliant about things involving number of patients with a certain disease process or number of patients utilizing home health care or things
I don't, but you just jogged my memory that some of that information is available in demographics now. So let's take a real quick peek. All right, demographics. There is somewhere deep in here, and forgive me because it's going to take me a second here to look around. But I'm going to take frozen yogurt so we're not looking at frozen yogurt and illnesses. Oh, somewhere in here, Simon Products Profile maybe. There's definitely a section on health where we could find, this is not it, I don't think, health and beauty aids, where we could find different general types of ailments. So like cancer, just generally, things like that. So that's something, chat us later about that so I don't, okay, cool. It is in there. Okay, where were we? All right, emergent intellect. And yes, we have Mango languages, so if you're interested in learning another language, we have that. Okay. Emergent intellect, like I said, is a lot like Reference USA. It has information on businesses and also individual consumers. And it also has some pre-made demographics reports. So if you're looking up a company, you can just type it right in here. If you're looking like Apple, let's just look up Apple. They're my go-to example. Yeah, that's them. 229 billion, that's the one. That's the one. And then for publicly traded companies, if you're ever doing research on them, Emergent Intellect is a great place because it has all of their SEC filings. Like I had said also, if you look at executive details, and because Apple is such a large company, you actually get names of officers, directors, and you actually also get a bio, compensation history, their education history. So like I said, this is because Apple's a large publicly traded company. But financial details. Oh my. Oh, those numbers don't even make sense to me. All right. Cool. So that's how you would look up an individual company. And then you would scroll down here. Okay, so advanced search, just like in Reference USA, is where you're going to make a list of companies by various criteria that you choose. Not residential. Here we are, consumer data. This is their version of US consumers. All right, so we would click on, if you want to look somebody individual up, you would just put their information in here. But to make a list, which I think is what most of us want to do, we'd go to advanced search. We'll choose various things here. Let's see, let's try our zip code again. 63110. And then in Reference USA, I clicked update count each time, and Emergent Intellect, every time I add a variable here, I'm going to click on add to criteria, so it's adding it to our search. And then, so we're looking in the 63110 area, and then here we go, lifestyle. So it's good to know Reference USA and Emergent Intellect because they have different lifestyles listed. So I don't think Price Club and value purchasing was one of the Reference USA options, for example. So, and what's also really nice about Emergent Intellect, this is something that Reference USA is working on, is that they have Boolean searches. Who's heard of Boolean searches? Yeah, it wasn't just us in library school. So what's great is that they have all of these lifestyle options, and you can choose and. So it's like, say you're selling really customized photography equipment for people who are also into aerobics and natural foods. I don't know. You have a product that really, it's for people into photography, natural foods, and aerobics, and horses. And you can see because it's chosen and, we're now looking for somebody who has all of those interests. Well, let's see if we can find somebody who's into that in 63110. All right. All right. Well, okay. We found a lot of people who have what I was expecting to be not a common set of interests, but all right. Here we go. Now I feel like maybe we should start the Netflix dating app I've been thinking about for a long time. Are you binge watching Hoarders? Someone else is in your zip code too. You should watch together. Okay. That's because of my brother-in-law watching a lot of Hoarders. Okay. So, very much like Reference USA, if you want to download this list, you can. They do make it a little easier because you can just click on all. Yes?
So with this list just in particular, is there a way where you could sort of hone in on the most common area or where they would be shopping, where they,
Ooh. Okay. if I were going to look and see where they are, I would try something similar to this search and reference USA and do the heat map thing and see where they are in this zip code. Or you could download this.
In other words, do they have like that, so-and-so at this age, they're into fishing and.
Let's look at individual.
Whatever, and that would give you kind of a.
Yeah, let's look at Kelly Aaron. Hope nobody knows Kelly. Or if they do, tell her we all know her. Okay. All right. So this is her demographic info, the basic information, and her household demographic data. And then let's see. Doesn't list her. I think actually to get that information, you have to build your files. So click on all. Then we click on build files, which is what they call the list. And so this is where I would click all of the lifestyles here, and then download this as an Excel sheet. So this is what I'm saying is a lot of it will come down to downloading the list and the elements that you want and then manipulating that yourself in Excel. Cool. All right. Another thing that Mergent Intellect has is some quick demographics. So right here, you click there. You could put in your zip code. I'm just going to stick with 63110. And then, let's see, I think I just hit enter. Here we go. And then we've got some basic demographic info here, but then it also makes these reports for you and some graphs. Pretty cool. Those are very basic information, but that's also useful here for your target market research. I had said, I was talking about Mosaic, these consumer profiles. There's another type of consumer profile called Prism.
You're about to 10 minutes more.
Okay, cool. And so, for example, we're searching in 63110, and I clicked on the image of the Excel icon, and now it's making the report for us as we wait, making it fresh for you. But Prism is another way of organizing consumer types, and I just clicked on this link here that said Prism segment definitions. So this can be a useful thing to help kind of flesh out your target market as well. So, is it Claritas? I'm always thinking Carnitas when I see this. I don't know about you guys. But, Claritas? They should just go with Carnitas. But basically, they've organized these different consumer groups by location of where they live and also their income. It tends to go from urban to suburban to outer to town and country. But you can see, again, they've got the little fun names for the different categories or consumer groups. And they will give you a little description. So network neighbors, for example. Okay. Usually ages 35 to 54, usually own their home. They're the highest tech group. There you go. And I love this because when I looked up my mom, it nailed her. It's like shops at Chico's. I'm like, yeah, she does. Okay. But it'll tell you sort of what other brands they're into, which can also help you build a picture. Yes?
Does any of this do any sort of tracking of app downloads, the app market?
I don't believe so. But that's it would be great if it did. It would be great if it did. Okay, so let's see if it got a report ready for us. It says done. Oh, here it is right down here. So this is an Excel spreadsheet showing us the different types of consumer groups based on this Prism classification in the 63110 zip code. Just shows that. Okay, so this is the US, and then this is us, 63110. So you could see, I'm just going to go real quick. So like our biggest numbers are this one, the cosmopolitans. And then also, so like 20% are cosmopolitans. And then almost another 2,000 are the connected bohemians. So we can go over here and we can read about the, let's do, oh, thank you, Control F, connected bohemians. All right, mobile urbanites, the nation's most liberal lifestyles, a progressive mix of tech-savvy young singles couples. We're talking about Shaw right now. Early adopters, quick to check out latest movie, nightclub. They're going to Wild Carrot, whatever. Owns a Volkswagen, eats at Chipotle. Visits Asia? All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Uses Uber or the scooters that we saw last year I was here. There was a girl who had broken her leg, fallen off one of those scooters. Anyway. Okay. So that was like a real whirlwind run through of only 4 of the databases that we have. This is why I started out, and I will end also by strongly encouraging you to explore the Book a Librarian option. Totally free. If you have a group of people, we go out to places. We will also come to you. Yes?
When you go to the library and ask for somebody to kind of help you look through these references, is it just better to do the website, book it, or is it to ask for a certain person who's really into it? Sometimes you get a blank stare or...
I'm the person that makes the appointments. So I would say I think you're best suited to fill out the form online, because that sends an email to me and the other person who helps with scheduling. And then there's a little part where you put what you're interested in learning about, and that's when we start to pair you with somebody who has some experience there and does a lot of research in that area. But it's all totally free. People ask, how much does it cost? $0, or you've already paid. But yeah, does anybody have any final questions? I know that this is a lot of info, and yes?
Got a card with it?
I do have cards. I will leave them up here at the front. We love working with business people. We love saving you money. If you think about what public libraries are, we are community support organizations, and a large part of that is helping people on their way to financial freedom and economic success. So helping small businesses, which are the backbone of business and our economy, fits right in with our mission. It's been great being here with you all. Thank you for having me back each year. I'm always happy. Thank you very much.